Hey, it's Seeking Sister Wife, episode 4, 13 is enough. You can hear our baby in the background playing with his sleep suit. And I was able to drag John away from his katana research to do this. So the Bryonies, what a mess. I just wrote Bryonies/mess. April's 20th anniversary. And then she's like, we don't get jealous of each other's vacations. I thought you get jealous about everything. You guys are such a mess. I don't like any of you. That's what I decided. I don't like any of them. Angela might be okay, but I don't know. Anyway, so they all go away. Or not, they don't all go. April and the husband, whose name I haven't bothered to learn, goes away and he hurts himself riding on a horse, which as near as I could tell was walking. And then instead of being like, oh, let's go to a chiropractor or the ER or an immediate care or get Advil, she's like, why don't you lay in the back of the car and I'm going to drive you far away to a cabin, which looked like just a really nice house in a neighborhood, which I didn't understand. Because I really pictured that they were going to stay there at this dude ranch. And he's like, in such crippling pain he has to lay down. And they're like, we don't need to go to a doctor. And then she's like, we keep crutches in the car for just such an occasion. And I'm like, who keeps crutches in the car? Like, unless you already have such a bad foot. Like my mom, my mom had a pretty catastrophic ankle injury 45 years ago. She's had chronic foot problems. She has a horrible limp. They fused her ankle twice. One leg is like 2 inches shorter than the other. She's had a hip replacement. She's in her 70s, and she doesn't carry crutches. So I'm a little bit curious as to what because they're like, always keep crutches. And I'm like, what are they talking about? Anyway, and then their daughter, I guess, gets smushed by a tree. And they're like, oh, I think some of her vertebrae may be broken. Once again, didn't call paramedics. They just put her in the car and drove her to the hospital. And so this is what gets me about April. And it's kind of piggybacks on something I said in the last, which is when she talks about anything, she sounds fake. Like she sounds like she's reading a script. Or she's like, how can I say this to be, rather than just like, right now I'm just talking. Words are coming out of my mouth. Just, April always feels like she's picking her words. Anyway, the whole thing was confusing and boring. The kid was okay.
Nobody cares.
Well, no, I cared. The kid. It's not the kid's fault the pants are all weird. Anyway, we'll skip to the Aldridges. They're so sad because they got ghosted, essentially, by Melina. Like, they've all been ghosted, but I guess now they have 3 of them. 3 people got ghosted. Then they told the kids they were having a baby, and I already seen the previews, so I was already like, because I already had heard that they didn't find a heartbeat, and that's a really sensitive topic for John and I, so we're like, this is not entertainment for us, so that's just really sad. We haven't watched the next episode, so don't tell us what happens, but we'll try to get to it this week so we can get all caught up. Now let's skip to the Snowdens, which is one, I just wrote, hot mess, because this is a mess.
I'm just so mesmerized by you right now.
So all of the outfits were fine. It was just so weird. So it just felt like they were going, I don't know what a polygamous couple does, so let's just do whatever we can to show how excited the wife is. Sorry, I didn't write down her name this week, so I don't remember. What was her name?
Who cares?
Okay. I don't remember. Demetrian something. Anyway. I want to know how he sold her on this idea. Like, I know that she was like, oh, we studied polygamous in college. Well, I studied Egyptology in college, and I'm not...
You're not an Egyptian?
And I'm not going to go get buried in a pyramid. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so her saying, like, oh, we studied polygamy in college, then she's like, oh, so this sounds like a good idea. This isn't like traveling to Florida or adopting a dog. Like, this is a pretty big thing.
Oh, seems like she's expecting a midwife. And he's already got his fuck buddy, so...
Yeah. John, don't use that language on our show. Okay, so that's what happens. They have a really nice day. He's like, you are just so gorgeous. You're so amazing. And then at the end of it, he was like, I would like to spend more time with you, so why don't you cancel your ride? I'll call my wife and tell her what's going on so that we can all be on the same page.
Totally above board.
And then we'll be really honest. Okay, no. Clearly, if you watch the show, you know that is not what happened. He's like, wow, this is so amazing.
Walked her out to her car.
Well, bye. And she's like, bye, my ride's coming. And then, like, it shows a clip that says, like, after the film crew left, they snuck back together. And then the next morning, they film him, like, coming down, and he's like, oh, man. And she's like, rough night. It's like, oh, yeah, it was a lot. I'm like, what was his agenda in his mind where he's like, I'm going to pretend to be really exhausted?
Maybe that wasn't pretend.
No, but it definitely felt like it was put on, like, oh, man. And then she's like, so tell me, how did it go? He's like, did anything happen? And he's
he
like,
goes, well, let's just say she was open for business.
did he say that?
No.
Okay. I was like, I don't remember that.
Would have been more entertaining if he did.
But, anyway, and she's like, do you feel okay with that? And I can see the wheels spinning like, the answer's no, the answer's no, the answer's no. Lie, because he's like, yeah, that was awesome. You're like crazy pregnant. You watch the kids. I gotta stay all night with some 22-year-old. And this is the crazy part, is that in the preview, and I already kind of know what's gonna happen because I saw enough on Twitter, where she's like, well, she better tell the truth. She better tell the truth. She better tell the truth. They didn't sit down and have a long discussion with her about what was expected. She had a long discussion with her husband, who like basically was like, yeah, we have to have a commitment, and it's got to always be really open and honest. And then he sneaks back. Now this is what I'm wondering. This is how I watch these shows. And I know a lot of people watching this, which is like, well, clearly, so he didn't come home. So, and she didn't know what happened. So did she like call him and he like sent a voicemail? And then she calls the producers and she's like, I'm so worried he's not home. I can't get a hold of him. You know, did something happen afterwards? And then maybe they call him. And then he like answers and is like, hey, what's up? And they're like, oh. Okay, well anyway, that's the end of the show. Catch you later.